Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With Major 1 well underway, a major update in the New York camp ahead of their game today that may be the one and only game they play at this major. But Crimsix and aBeZy on the side, definitely having a go at it on the timeline. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. These are kind of the blueprints that you can get this weekend's Major 1 tournament pack. Kind of cool stuff right they're doing nowadays, to be honest. Look, it's CDL in-game items. It's not going to be spectacular, but at the very least it's something that we have in the game to celebrate this weekend. This also for the Esports Awards, just wanted to mention real quick, as we saw a while ago now that the kind of player of the month of the Esports Awards are due every single month. Capsule of the Boston Breach managed to win it. That's the thing, like, yes, it might have been fan voted or whatever. Call of Duty tends to do quite well in things like this, but still cool to see regardless. Will Boston Breach stay alive in this tournament? That remains to be seen. They played today, I believe, against the Florida Mutineers. We'll have a look at the bracket towards the end of the video, because it's absolutely stacked, and there's so many games today. It's going to be another very late couple of days for us over in Europe. I think the latest days that we've probably had in the last couple of seasons, but we'll dive into that and what they might potentially do about it going forwards. Just from the OpTic guys real quick, of course, a massive series victory yesterday, very impressive 3-0. Most maps pretty comfortable, especially the Search and Destroy looked very good. This time yesterday we talked about the fact that Rambo said that he thinks their Search and Destroy is their best game mode. FaZe may well have something to say about that, but they don't play today, they play tomorrow, because both of those teams are now guaranteed top 6. The winner of that kind of winners semi-final gets guaranteed top 3, and then of course, well, that's a massive series for both of these teams. But FaZe versus OpTic on LAN confirmed for the first time in a very long time. I'm pretty sure the last time FaZe and OpTic played each other on LAN, this is a pretty crazy statistic, was way back at Anaheim 2019, when Scump clutched that crazy 1 versus 1 against Cellium to win the entire game and complete the reverse sweep. That's the last time these two organizations played in a LAN environment. They played a fair few times the last couple of years, but only online in some of the online majors and stuff like this, and the online group play matches. And there was a few matches last year, OpTic Chicago versus Dallas Empire on LAN towards the end of the year, but FaZe and OpTic never played each other. This is going to be the first time in a very long time, and of course in front of the OpTic crowd. It doesn't get too much better than that. That of course is on Saturday. I'm sure the crowd in the venue, it was crazy yesterday and it was a Thursday. I'm sure come Saturday, it's going to be even more insane. Shotzi's very confident with the current state of the team, and understandably so. He was out of control yesterday, but certainly some other players were having a pretty good showing. Those include the likes of Simp over on the Atlanta FaZe. Some of these stats are just absurd. This overall KD here from day one, Simp at a casual 1.75, Dashy right behind him at 1.37. In fairness to the OpTic guys, been Scump at a 1.07 that series. We've got Envoy up here as well, of course, former OpTic member with a 1.2 for the loss in that series. Cellium up here as well. Nasty with a great series on the London side. Slasher kind of gets that land buff into the 1.1s whenever he returns pretty much. And then yeah, Shots here at a 1.2 as well. So not bad at all from all involved. This is a pretty insane stat though. Slayer rating. This may well be one of the highest Slayer ratings we've ever seen. I believe that 96 kills in 3 maps is the most we've ever seen in Call of Duty history. At least in the modern era where we've been tracking these type of stats. And well, the Slayer rating is effectively expected kills in a Game 5 series. And anything in the 100 range is like, okay, wow. Like if someone gets 100 kills in a 5 map series, that's pretty impressive. So anything in that kind of ballpark is very good. But anything in the 120s is pretty much unheard of. Anything in the 90s is very solid, but Simp certainly came to play yesterday. Will OpTic be able to shut him down on Saturday? That certainly does remain to be seen. And just before we talk about the New York stuff, this is such a ridiculous graph and relevant stats, so I thought I'd like to mention it. I imagine this has changed to some degree now, because Cellium, I don't think still has a 2.68 after yesterday's Search and Destroy. But I just look at this, right? So you've got the quartiles, right? Like the 1.0 average, 1.14 if I guess this quartile, like 0.87. The lowest KD was a 0.57, I believe, from Neptune. Then you kind of had this one at 1.45. But Cellium was up here at a 2.68, just so far ahead of the rest of the field over about 6 or so maps. But well, that may well change and continue to change this coming weekend. Let's talk about the New York camp that I thought this is kind of funny from Claire a couple of days ago. Yo, Hydra, name all the players on this poster. Not only is it just one player, but it actually says Michael Jordan at the top of the poster, until Paco has no idea what's going on. But as Clay reckons, this weekend been putting in more hours than I have in years, hoping it translates into the matches this weekend. They may only get to play one, unfortunately. It's going to be a difficult one against Los Angeles Thieves, especially because LA Thieves are probably the best hardpoint team in the game right now, and New York are resoundingly the worst hardpoint team in the game. So you can almost think that, I mean, look, if New York actually win a hardpoint in this series, I shall be impressed. But if New York lose both hardpoints, it's tough to see them doing a 2-3-5 like Ultra did yesterday. Not sure like quite the caliber of team to pull that off, but still, I think they did it against Boston not that long ago, in their only win right so far this season. So who knows, maybe they can make it happen. Los Angeles Thieves, they look pretty solid yesterday. Their hardpoint again was pretty spectacular. Not sure New York are going to be able to compete on that front, but Clay reckons they've been suddenly putting in the time. And well, other things have been changing as well. This also I saw a couple of days ago here, and I wondered if anyone was going to respond to it. Of course, Crimsix was going to respond to it. This was the clip you guys might remember here. This kind of stuck in my mind actually, because when I watched this live, I was like, okay, wow, what is aBeZy made of? But yeah, here we are on Garrison control, a little bit of a throwback to Black Ops Cold War. Crim's holding this angle, and aBeZy jumps over and like gets the kill while jumping. Like one of the most ridiculous kills ever with the 74U. Like Crim has the full advantage in that gunfight, you would think, and aBeZy just makes the impossible possible and somehow takes this fight against Crimsix. Now, well, he comes out here most recently and says, you know, what did you say to your team after you died in this particular scenario? And Crimsix comes back with the following: weren't you still breastfeeding while I was winning chips? Must have been inspired by my gameplay, etc, etc. Pathetic tiny body. Like, yeah, you're a clown, but come on, I expected more. And Crim goes on an absolute rampage. I mean, yeah, he's calling him a hobbit, like out of control, right? And who knows? Maybe these two will match up at some point in the future in this tournament. It is still possible. It's rather unlikely at the moment, right, that a Nuke actually make a run in the lower bracket. But who knows, right? Clay and Crim, they should be capable of something like this. It is, of course, a surprise that everyone's kind of got their money on these guys going out top 12 this tournament. And if they do, like, what happens after this tourney, right? Because that was kind of the concern coming in here with the bracket that they have. They're like, okay, let's say they lose to LA Thieves 3-1 or something in both the hard points. What do they actually learn from this tournament? Not all that much, right, to take into future ones. But oh well, Crimsix goes to continue. Your homie Bilbo Baggins, that being Simp, don't give it to the evil temptations of the ring. I don't understand how Crimsix's brain works sometimes, but you know, it's impressive, no doubt. Scientists should honestly study this guy's brain. He's absolutely out of control, but it's possible these guys match up at some point in this tournament. Of course, New York will have to make a crazy run for that to be possible, and well, the odds are certainly not in their favor coming up later today. This also, though, a major announcement from the New York side that they've changed their head coach of the team. So, well, as they say in this thing, there's going to be a big announcement coming in this episode with the whole royalty stuff going on as well. But Drill has been promoted to their head coach. So Drill came into this team as the performance coach of the New York Subliners. And there was a lot of talk in the offseason, like, what's going on with Revan? Is he actually going to be there again? Because Revan was the head coach last year. But there was plenty of talk, the fact that, okay, Clayster was basically leading that team on all fronts. Not only was he in-game leader of the squad and the main assault rifle, but he was also basically doing the coaching. Because, you know, Revan wasn't necessarily, like, well, so assertive, right, when he needed to be to kind of get control of Clayster. And especially when the whole Clayster benching himself type situation went on, there wasn't maybe enough, you know, impetus from the coaching staff to be on that kind of level pegging in the discussions with Clayster. So I guess they feel like they need a bigger personality in that role, because Revan was out of the team. They kicked him, I'm pretty sure, and then they brought him back before the season started, because I guess they didn't really have any other options. Drill came in as their performance coach, and now he's going to be stepping into the head coach. Definitely, I think, a much more assertive guy, probably has gained the respect of Crimsix and Clayster, maybe more than Revan has so far, because that's the thing, you've got Crim and Clay, you've got to gain these guys' respect if you want them to listen to you. So pretty cool stuff, I thought. Hopefully Drill can help turn this team around. I think he's certainly got the talent to do so. And as he says right here, all I care about is seeing my boys win. Of course, was the coach of Hydra when he was no longer in the Pro League a couple of years ago. They have a great relationship already. Maybe that will be the key to unlocking this Subliners roster, because right now we certainly know they're not reaching their potential. I'm pretty sure he also said in the video that Neptune's a very talented player, but they kind of agreed as a team, not just Crimsix, right, but the rest of the guys in the coaching staff, that it might be time for Neptune to step out of there. And well, he actually reckoned that he may well come back in at some point. He actually reckons he will. Now, whether that will be on this team, that of course does remain to be seen if they have the success that they are looking for with royalty, but it's well, far from guaranteed. This also, just to mention real quick, because I thought this is kind of funny, they said, well, Joey Nubsy said in reply, come on, let's go to Octane. Good luck this week, Sam. Can't stress how much I can't see you possibly losing 3-2. I'll revisit this, and unfortunately, well, revisit it for the wrong reasons. Even in retirement, he's still haunting you. Ghost of Nubsy's past is still ego challenging me, right? Because of course the last year or so on Seattle Surge, couple of years, haven't been so pretty for Octane on this Seattle Surge, alongside Joey Nubsy as the coach of that team. But in fairness, he predicted this one pretty well, right? 3-2 Ultra. Let's then dive into the bracket as it stands right now. So on the winners bracket, we have FaZe OpTic on the winners side, Ravens versus Ultra. So both of these are cracking matchups, right? FaZe OpTic, as we talked about for the first time in a very long time, like you would think that who wins this will be favourites to go on to win the tournament. Then you've got on the other side the European battle. The first time in a long time we've actually seen London and Ultra be on a competitive level, to be honest. Like, I mean, Toronto have been the #1 European team. Of course, they're Canadian, but you know, whatever, you know how it works. For a very long time at this point, London are finally there or thereabouts. I predicted going into this weekend that Ravens would show that they're the stronger European team. We shall see if that transpires. The winner of both these games are guaranteed top 3 in this tournament. The losers bracket are where things get insane. So these 4 games are being played today, plus another game in round 2. So there's 5 games today. That's the thing with no buys anymore. Like, it's obviously a positive thing, I think, in general for the format, that there's no winners bracket buys. But what it does mean is that to complete this tournament with 12 teams, there's 18 matches that need to be played. Now, well, that's a quite substantial number. And what it means is there was 4 yesterday, I believe 4 on Sunday. That means there's got to be 5 on both in-between days. And what they did in previous years, I'm pretty sure last year, when there was a big day, they would just bring the matches back 1 hour 30 earlier. For some reason, this time they've just decided, no, we're keeping the same start time, we're just going to go later, which is going to be kind of frustrating for European fans. Like yesterday, like, I don't know what they think really, having OpTic surge last. It makes sense, I guess, having OpTic at the end of the day to maintain viewership, viewership. But when it's 3 AM in Europe, like, you're not going to get the viewership you could get for that match, right? So I don't really understand their thought process here. I guess at least the FaZe OpTic one is slightly earlier, but I'm pretty sure whoever loses that will have to go on and play the final series of the day anyway at a ridiculous time in the morning. So anyway, these are the 4 games of today. Breach Mutineers, Surge Legion, Guerrillas Rokkr, Thieves versus the New York Subliners, and these are now the 5 games as they go down. So I mean, yeah, the final game of the day, what I'm probably going to do tonight is just make the video after 4 and then go to bed and schedule it, because yes, this game is scheduled to finish at 3:30 in the morning my time, but knowing how the timelines were yesterday, it's probably going to finish at like 5. So it's going to be a tough one. But anyway, these are the games. Rokkr Guerrillas. This game, when they played in the regular stage, it was 3-2 to Minnesota. This time, I feel like Guerrillas will get the better of them. I want to say a 3-1. Then we've got Subliners versus Thieves. I can't really see New York winning this. I hope they show some sort of improvements. The Thieves are just too strong in the hard points. Like, I've got to say 3-1 Thieves. I think that they're going to find a way to win at least one of the control or the search and destroy in game 2 and game 3. They're going to win both the hard points. Like, yeah, worst hard point team in the game, best hard point team in the game. I want New York to actually make some sort of run here, to be honest. I would like to see them be competitive, take this to a game 5. I just don't really think it's going to happen. Then we've got Mutineers versus Breach. This one, I'm actually going to take Mutineers. I feel like Florida are usually good for one of these like lower bracket upsets before they then get out of the tournament in top 8 or something. So that's what I'm going to say. Breach go out here top 12. Mutineers managed to move on with a 3-1. And then we've got Surge versus Paris Legion. Don't really need to talk all that much about this. It's going to be a Surge 3-1. But in fairness, that's Gravity's first series with this team. So exciting stuff to see his debut in the league. And who knows, right? Surge did not look great yesterday against OpTic by any means. Then the final series will be, at least how I have it, Los Angeles Guerrillas versus Thieves. This should say Thieves rather than Toronto. And that would be cool to see the Battle of Los Angeles in action. I think right now Thieves are probably still the strongest squad. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tells the YouTube gods it's a good video. And I like you should see it as well. And help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
You hire some professional help to take care of a menace like that. Grim from up top now, just a bit of a peppering spray and keep these players back, and aBeZy throwing them slinky shoulders. Oh my god, what was that kill? What? Why does that happen? aBeZy's having a series of a lifetime right now, breaking the rules of physics.